Live from the Sunny Coast Building in Pasig City, it's the Mid to Late Night Show with Jojo A.
Giselle Barrion with the husband, Ryan Barrion. Please welcome Giselle Barrion with the husband, Ryan Barrion. Thank you very much for making time. You can do it. The 6 keys to personal development. It's a very interesting book. I browsed through it, and then what caught me talaga right off is yung the intrinsic keys and the extrinsic keys.
To empower our students.
Okay, if I'm going to empower students, what I'm going to teach them first is the art of unlearning. Unlearning, because they cannot learn if they wouldn't unlearn, because sometimes that is the barricade. When you are listening to someone, you have your set of biases. You have to put that aside, and you make your mind like an open canvas so that it would be easier for you to digest information.
So the question is, how can we strengthen our leadership?
How can you strengthen your leadership? Again, you have to first concretize your purpose, and then your vision. Find out what your vision is, then your values, and finally your goals. Turn it into milestones so that you'll be able to achieve your purpose and your vision. Because you see, if you don't have these four, no matter what kind of leadership programs that you attend, whether it's basic or the advanced ones, it would be futile. Know why? Because you cannot even lead yourself. Because leadership programs will just teach you, like, say, the essence of planning, leading, motivating people, or managing people. But the problem is you. You have a problem with your values. You are not aligned with the organization or where you are at. Then there is a disconnect there. So it has to, it has to begin from the inside out.
Okay. And what are the basic leadership qualities that a person should have as a leader?
As a leader, of course, someone who can walk the talk. That's the basic leadership quality, worth emulating. A role model, so to say.
Yes, so we should have a role model, right?
Yes,
All of
role
us.
model. Because people would, it's so easy for someone to say that, hey, you should follow me. This is the right thing to do. But if the person doesn't see it in you, let's say, for example, a leader would say, you have to be here early, but the leader comes in late.
Right.
Then there's a disconnect, right?
Yeah.
So you have to start with you. But if you come there early, everybody would definitely come early because they would be shy if they would see you coming in early than they do. So they would just follow you.
Okay. And as a leader, how can we motivate our team?
How you can motivate your team? Of course, these days, motivation is really needed, especially with the impact of pandemic. And you know what? A lot of people are asking me the same thing about motivation. But I think a leader must be understanding, must be compassionate. For you to be able to lead people better, you have to lead them with love. How do you lead them with love? You lead them with love by showing them compassion. Compassion for me is being responsive to other people. When they need you, you're there, right? You don't have to give them everything that they need, but provide them with what you can.
Okay. And from one question from our faculty, what is the role of leader while teaching and learning process?
What is the role of a leader? Actually, leaders are very essential in most organizations because they would have to carry out whatever the vision or the mission of the school or an organization. If we do not have effective leader, then no matter how beautiful the vision of, let's say, a school or an organization is or its mission, nobody would carry it out, then what would others follow? So that's how vital a role of a leader is.
And students has a confusion. How can we achieve the right way to achieve our goal?
How can you achieve your goal? All right. Actually, I mentioned that earlier about goal setting. It's about SMART principle. First, you have to be, when you talk about SMART, you have to be specific. Like, tell me, what do you want to be? What do you want to have? If you're able to concretize what you want to have to be very specific. You want, let's say, a car. Now, tell me, what brand of car do you want? What color of car do you want? You want a Porsche that's red? All right, let's go to measurable. How many Porsche cars would you like to have? 2, 1, 3, 10. Okay? How much does it cost? Measurable. That's part of measurable, right? And next is attainable. Is it attainable? Is it achievable now or not yet? And
Ma'am, how can we attain the skills and knowledge to achieve the goals?
okay, how can we attain those keys? Of course, first of all, you have to be willing to learn. And then if you are willing to learn, then try to reflect on it once again. And there's no overnight success. And even if you have achieved already a certain level of success, at times you will stumble and you might fall. But you have to stand up. You need to be resilient and go back to it again. Pick up the pieces and continue to pursue what you have initially started. Because, there are stumbling blocks that sometimes you know already what to do. You have concretized it. But these challenges would affect you on how you want or how you proceed or move forward. So pick up the pieces, move on, carry on, and then do it again. Do the process again. So willingness is the first thing.
Compassionate.
Compassion is putting your shoe to someone else's. It's leading them with responsiveness. When they need you, you are there. You try to understand where they are coming from, and you try to be more accessible or available to others who are in need. Especially these days, it's very needed. Compassionate leadership.
Yeah. Effect of COVID-19 in leadership.
Of course, it definitely affected the way people in general communicate, whether it's a leader or a staff. That's why it's important for leaders to have strategies on how they can communicate effectively to their people or to their colleagues. Or if, let's say, in a corporate in a school setting, it's how you have to communicate with your students as well as your co-teachers or faculty members. So, an important skill that a leader must possess these days is communication, interpersonal relations in a virtual world. So how do you engage people, make them committed, make them happy or satisfied despite this virtual world that we are into? Your daily routine.
For leadership qualities.
Okay. Actually, if we will just be mindful of our daily activities, you will learn a lot from your daily routine. And make sure that you reflect at the end of the day what happened, what transpired, what are you grateful for, what can you still improve on, and how can you make the most of the talent that you have, and what else can you do moving forward.
And if we want to get a job in COVID-19 during this situation, what is the effective way to get it?
Okay. Of course, you have to be adaptable because most companies would definitely look for candidates who can easily adapt especially with the kind of situation that we are into. So technology savviness is one of the must skills these days that you have to develop. And you try to learn as much as you can. Find out the etiquette that you need to develop, because communication online is different from in person. So try to develop that further. There are certain do's and don'ts that you do when you are in the virtual world. Like earlier, I was talking to my laptop. I do not see you guys, but I am trying to visualize that I have an audience. Unlike before, when it comes to in person, I'm more alive, I'm more engaged. So you see, that's an adjustment. You need to have more creativity in the reality nowadays. So a lot of creativity and proactiveness is needed. Of course, virtual platform will play a big role, especially that, of course, with the impact of COVID-19, employees and even students are WFH or work from home, right? And virtual platform is the means of a leader by which they can communicate through people. Facebook Messenger, Viber, LinkedIn, Zoom, Google Hangout, or Google Meet. These platforms would help you get in touch with your people. So it doesn't stop that, you don't see each other in the office or school. There are many ways by which you can still get connected to people. And the importance of virtual platform is it makes us, in fact, closer to one another. If you are looking at it in a positive context, virtual reality or virtual platform rather makes you closer to home. It's not actually making us distant but closer. Imagine before, I have to go to India before we can talk, before I can train or I can speak. But now, it's easy. After 30 minutes from my lunch, I went here in my office and boom! Voila! That's how things become more accessible these days.
Yes, that's true. And ma'am, what are the resources to attain our goal? If we want to attain our goal, then what are the resources that we can use?
Knowledge. You are your own resource. The greatest resource that you have is you. But you just have to discover that. So when you apply to a job, you have to be ready. These things that I talked about earlier, if you have reflected on it, if you have imbibed it, whoever asked that, by the way, definitely you will be able to get the job that you want. Because these are the things that would normally an employer or a requisitioning manager, a hiring manager would ask from you. Like, what are the values that's important to you? What do you want to be in 5 years' time, etc. If you're able to concretize it as early as now, the moment you step in for the job interview, whether it's virtual or meet in person, you'll be able to handle it with ease, with more confidence. And that's what they want to look at, the confidence in you on how you handle situations. I presume that's what the person who asked that question intends to ask, right? How can you show your leadership every day?
Yeah.
Okay. If you have reflected on what we have talked about earlier related to the 4 keys, you don't even have to, it just comes naturally. You don't have to set your mind that, hey, I should act this way, in a certain way, I should look a certain way. Because whatever you say or whatever you do would be reflective of those. The purpose, the vision, the values, and even the goals that you've set. It would be reflective in the way that you act, that you talk, or that you feel about a situation or a person. Or when you plan, it's always synchronized to that. That's why we've talked about introspection for this morning. We've talked about it because that's how important introspection is or reflection is.
When you talked about personal values during achieving the SMART goal setting, right?
Right.
So what are the personal values that we should take care of it?
All right. I like the question. As a student, one of the most important values would be, of course, hard work. Hard work. Because why hard work? It might sound simple for some, but hard work would be the baseline of excellence. You cannot be excellent if you are not hardworking. And you need hard work in everything that you do. My gosh, with the assignments and the projects, you cannot accomplish anything without hard work, without a sweat and blood.
Yes, yes. So hard work is necessary.
Yes, hard work. And definitely integrity. Integrity. So you do things right even when no one is looking around.
Yes,
Or
honesty.
you do the right things, or honesty. But I like to say integrity more. I like integrity better, because integrity for me is doing things even when no one is looking around. Honesty would be truthful, probably in front of you, but integrity is deeper, because even if you are not there, you're not present, you are still true to that person or to the company or to the organization.
And the measurable, you told about the measurable points, how much and how many to achieve our smart goals. How it is measurable, that how much the goal is important, or that way.
Right. It has to be measurable, because what gets measured gets done, according to Peter Drucker. That's why you need to have some sort of measurements.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I think we have covered all the questions.
Okay, I thought there are 100 questions.
Oh my God. Okay, one question has arrived. One question has arrived. I'm sorry. But yes, the one question is, how can we describe the look and feel of specific goals?
How can you describe the look and the feel of a specific goal? When you talk about the look and the feel, it depends on the specific goal that you have. The process question that I gave are just some of the process questions that you can ask. Okay? Like earlier, when I gave you the example about the car, by look and feel, how does your car look like? How does it feel when you see the car? Do you feel elated? Do you feel better? That's just an example. But there could be other examples of a goal. Like a goal can also be something that's intangible. Say, I want to become, let's say, a restaurant owner someday. For example, just an example, I want to own a big restaurant, a huge restaurant someday. So what is the specific look and feel of that restaurant that you want to have? Do you want to make it like a country style restaurant? Sort of. So that's what I meant by look and feel. You have to be very specific. Okay, so that when you close your eyes, you can dream on it, even when your eyes already open.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Thank you
ma'am,
so
for
much
giving us your valuable time.
Yes, you're welcome. And thank you also for those questions and for the opportunity to speak in Parole University. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Akala ko na-attract ka dun sa hindi lang dun sa title yung sa picture ng
Actually, sasabihin ko na
ng
nga
book
yun Oh, ito di ba? Diba, ang ganda no? Ito ba, ikaw ba talaga nag-isip ng nito?
Yes, in a way. Oo, kasi gusto ko maging catchy. So sabi
Yes,
ko,
and very light.
And very light.
Yes,
oo.
oo.
Kasi heavy na nga yung material. So
Oo.
sabi ko, gusto ko medyo mukhang light ang dating ng libro.
Pero Giselle, what prompted you to come up with this book? I know for a fact,
Yes.
I know quite a few, especially the millennials now, no?
Yeah.
There, most of them, hindi ko naman ino-all, nilalahat, no? Pero sila mismo nagsasabi, there are some reasons unknown to them that makes them a little bit, well, putting it harshly, depressive for no apparent reason, for reasons unknown to them. But they are like that. What do you think is happening in the workplace?
Ay, alam mo kasi importante talaga yung the why, di ba? Kailangan masagot yung why. Bakit mo ba ginagawa yung mga bagay-bagay? Actually, yung book ko, yung inspiration ko dyan, Yung mga tao na dinadrag nila yung sarili nila sa trabaho.
Okay.
Yung parang ano na sila, yung parang minsan nawawalan na sila ng sense of purpose, sense
Yeah.
of direction. And it's also good for people who are looking for a job.
Oh,
Yes, it's not
okay.
only for people at work, but even those who are about to work. Kasi it gives a direction, a structure as to what you need to be self-aware of. Ano yung mga certain sets of keys na dapat mong i-introspect para mas makilala mo pa ang sarili mo. So that you'll be effective at work. Yes.
Okay. So not just at work, but those people who want to work.
Who want to work,
Or
exactly.
looking for work.
Oo.
Pero actually, huhugot nito.
Hindi kasi ganito yan, di ba? May explanation ako dyan.
Okay?
Ako kasi yung trabaho ko, HR, di ba? Yung trabaho ng HR kung minsan, NOD, Organization Development, kung minsan may mga programa kayo sa organization para mas maging masaya ang mga empleyado. Pero may mga empleyado dyan, sabihin nila, I love my job. Ipa-follow lang nila kung ano yung rara ng company o yung theme for the year. Kasi gusto nilang, alam mo na, to be pleasing, ganyan, hindi sila mapagalitan. But actually, deep inside them, meron sila kung minsan na hindi masagot ang mga katanungan, bakit hindi sila ganun ka-inspirado magtrabaho. Yes. And I think, yun yung sinasagot ng libro ko eh. Parang kaya, actually, isa sa mga inspirations ko kung ba't ko ginawa yun is I wanted to align kung ano yung, ano dun sa loob nila, dun sa bigger picture ng company.
That's right. Ano to? When you examine your heart's treasure, is it basically self-worth? Is that it? Or
Similar to it.
Similarly,
But
right.
yung treasure na tinutukoy dyan, it's more of the values. Ano yung mga personal values ng isang tao.
okay.
Oo, kasi yun yung mag-propel nung key number 2 mo.
Okay.
Because your key number 2 there,
paint your desired
paint your
future.
desired future. Ano yung gusto mo ba talagang maging? Ano ba yung vision mo of a desired future? So para mangyari yan, you need to have that treasure. Ano yung mga values that you need to uphold for you to be effective in catching that vision of a desired future?
That's right.
Oo.
Oo, yung paano mo kukunin with what you have
Oo,
already, di ba?
correct.
What is innate in you, is that
Exactly.
correct? Oh, okay. See, now kakaroon ng direction ng substance yung show natin, di ba? Actually, when you think about it, yung 6 na keys nito,
Right.
when you follow it talaga to heart, it will give you a good sense of purpose and direction. Especially ito lahat naman maganda. Let me just again. So, one is define your life's purpose. Of course, yan given na yan. So, yung paint your desired future, sinabi mo nga kanina kung anong gusto mo, examine. Turn goals into milestones. How would you be able to do this talaga from examining your heart's treasure, you turn goals into milestones? What's in the book for this?
Okay, magandang tanong mo, no? Kasi di ba number 2 sabi, paint your desired future. So masyado siyang malawak.
Yes, malawak.
Kapag alam mo, sinabi mo, ano bang gusto mo talaga? Maraming sasabihin ng tao, gusto ko magkaroon ng malaking business in the future. Yun ang number 2. Yung number 3 sabi, ano ba yung treasure mo? Meaning, ano yung character, attitude that translates to character na dapat meron ka for you to be able to achieve that vision of having a big business in the future. Now, key number 4, yung tanong mo, no? Ano naman yung turn goals into milestones? Now, ang laki nung dream mo. Gusto mo magkaroon ng malaking business. Pero how do you achieve that? Now, you make it into bite sizes. Yes. Parang parang yung allegory. Yes.
Okay.
Yung allegory na yung how do you eat an elephant?
You cut it into bite pieces so that you can
You can eat it one at a time.
One at a time.
Oo. Parang ganun din yung turning goals into milestones. So, kung halimbawa, gusto mo ng malaking business in the future, as early as now, baka pwedeng umattend ka ng mga seminars, manood ka ng mga palabas sa TV about business, or magbasa ka ng mga libro related
That's
to business
prep
management,
you,
to
Also,
prep you,
To
exactly.
prep you and get the much needed information and
Exactly,
that goes with it
oo.
para to to equip you for
Pang talakayin po yan, panauhin natin ngayon si Giselle Barrion, corporate trainer, motivational speaker at book author. Siya rin ang managing director ng Great Learnings and Beyond Management Consultancy Services. Magandang umaga.
Magandang umaga, Ruth.
Giselle, ano ba itong sinasabi na soft skills?
Okay. Ang soft skills are set of psychosocial abilities na kailangan ng isang individual para mas makapag-function siya sa work environment ng epektibo. Okay? Meron siyang tatlong broad categories. May tinatawag tayong cognitive skills. Ito yung analytical or ability ng isang individual para makapag-digest ng information. Meron din tayong tinatawag na personal skills. Ito yung ability of a person to adapt to its environment. And also yung tinatawag na interpersonal skills. Yung paano siya makipag-relate or makipagkapwa-tao. Okay, ito yung ability niya to communicate with other people.
Oo. Pero 'di ba yung usual kasi pag nag-a-apply ka, 'di ba, aside from your resume, 'di ba
Yes.
tinitingnan yung background mo kung saan ka dati nagtrabaho. Pero when we're talking about fresh graduates, 'di ba? Minsan may
Yes.
mga exams din. Paano nalalaman itong soft skills, yung level mo ng soft skills?
Okay. Doon sa exams kasi minsan may mga exam dyan na essay Tinatanong yung individual kung paano siya mag-respond sa certain situations, no? But aside from that, mas nakikita siya ng gusto during interview. Yes.
So, kung ikaw ay pupunta ka sa isang job interview, anong kailangan mong gawin? Anong dapat mong i-improve para mas malaking chance mo na makuha ka sa trabaho?
Maganda yung tanong mo, no? Kailangan paghandaan ng mga job seekers yung tinatawag na mga situational-based questions. Ano ba yung mga situational-based questions? Of course, may mga usual questions tayo na tinatawag like, tell me something more about yourself, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Okay, yun yung mga usual type. Pero pag sinabi mong situational-based questions, ito yung mga tipong, what are the challenges you've encountered at work and how you were able to handle it? Okay, when you answer situational-based questions, ang sigurong iiwan ko dun sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, yung tinatawag na STAR method. Ano ba yung STAR method? S stands for situation. Kailangan i-define mo ano yung particular situation na hinandle mo na very challenging. For example, kung new job seeker ka or fresh graduate ka, wala ka pang job experience, pwede mong ikwento dito kung paano ka nag-coordinate ng isang, let's say, seminar sa school ninyo. Kunyari, nagkaroon ng problema, hindi available yung speaker. So that's a problem, that's a situation. Now, T stands for task. Ano yung role mo doon? So that is coordination. Making sure na meron talagang speaker na darating during the time na merong program. And then A stands for action. Ano yung ginawa mo? Okay, ano yung itinulong mo, ano yung kinontribute mo? Nung hindi dumating yung speaker or nagka-problema dun sa schedule ng speaker on the day of the seminar, for example, no? Ano yung ginawa mo? Tumawag ka ba kaagad ng available speaker? Or nakipag-coordinate ka ba sa mga iba pang available facilitators? Okay, and then R, results. What was the result of your action? Yun yung mahalaga doon. Ano yung naging outcome? Ano yung naging contribution? Masaya ba yung mga umattend ng seminar mo? Or masaya ba yung mga yung target audience mo? So, STAR method yung
So,
tinitingnan
paano mo siya
natin.
i-reflect sa resume mo? Di ba may mga ibang resume na ini-enumerate na was able to increase sales? Di ba may mga
Yes.
ganun? How will you manifest that?
Okay. Sa resume, may tinatawag na work, di ba? May work experience doon. Kailangan sa work experience, hindi lang siya simpleng laundry list ng mga qualifications mo or job description mo. Kailangan ipakita mo rin din kung ano yung contribution mo, ano yung naging achievements mo. For example, kung ang ina-applyan mo is sales account manager, hindi mo lang sasabihin doon na, magaling ako sa prospecting, I am doing account management, or I'm doing prospecting. Kailangan sabihin mo rin kung ano yung naging contribution mo or accomplishment mo. For example, you were able to hit X number of accounts given the revenue target of in 2017. So you have to be specific.
Oo, yeah, specific. Paano yung mga bagong graduate? Anong pwede nilang ilagay na yung talagang paano nila ipagmamalaki, ibebenta yung sarili nila?
Kaya mahalaga sa mga fresh graduates, no, dapat they have to go out of the four corners of their classroom. They have to be involved in extracurricular activities in different organizations, as well as kung makakapag-volunteer sila aside from their on-the-job training, kumakapag-volunteer work sila sa church or let's say sa NGO so that they have something to put into their credentials. Aside from their educational background, pwede sila maglagay din ng work experience based on their volunteering work.
At saka para mas ma-expose din talaga sila
Yes.
sa tao, ano?
Correct,
Oo, yung
oo.
sinasabi mo kasing interpersonal relations, importante rin
Yes.
siya. Gusto ko lang itanong, importante pa rin ba yung mga school na pinanggalingan mo?
Of course, oo. But there are some companies these days na hindi na sila masyadong particular sa school ngayon. They're after the soft skills already. Your ability to communicate, your confidence level, the ability to handle difficult situations, yung pressures at work. Kasi alam naman natin ngayon, ang trabaho, napakadami talagang pressures yan, di ba? Marami diyang Russian and Argentinian. Maraming Rush dyan, Argent dyan, di ba? Kailangan makita sa'yo na magaling kang mag-handle. You are composed every time na may mga ganong challenging situation. At nakikita yan ng isang seasoned hiring manager or requisitioning manager during the job interview.
Pero yun na nga, yung hiring manager, talaga bang nagtatanong sila ng mga actual situations
Yes.
that you mentioned? Ganun ba
Yes.
ngayon ang interviews? Oo.
Oo. May mga certain situations or may mga certain questions dyan na situational, kagaya ng na-mention ko kanina. Ano yung mga challenges na encounter mo at work and how were you able to handle it? Ano yung mga situations na nangyari sa school, mga difficult situations na nalampasan mo? Ano yung ginawa
So
mo?
kailangan paghandaan ka na parang Miss
paghandaan yan.
Universe, yung mga ganyan
Oo,
tanong. Ano pang
correct.
ibang mga dapat paghandaan?
Okay, ano pa yung dapat ibang paghandaan, no? Ang job hunting tip ko ngayon is, siguro maglilib ako ng acronym para mas madali nilang ma-recall. SPEF. Ano yung SPEF? S stands for self-awareness. Sabi nga ni Socrates, the beginning of knowledge is self-awareness. Before ka pa magpunta dun sa company na pupuntahan mo or applyan mo, kailangan kilalanin mo muna sarili mo. Ano ba yung priorities mo? Ano ba yung personal values mo? Ano ba yung aspirations mo? And then P stands for yung preparation. Be prepared sa interview na pupuntahan mo and try to rehearse offhand kung ano yung mga interview questions, and at the same time, i-prepare mo rin yung outfit mo na isusuot. And E stands for evaluation. Kung may naging problema ka dun sa company, let's say hindi ka natanggap, hindi ka pinalad, try to evaluate yourself. What went wrong, what went right, so that you can improve next time. And finally, F is for faith. Yung faith is, of course, alam naman natin na everything depends on the leap of faith, no? Depending on your religion, kahit na ano pang religion, kailangan may pinangahawakan ka ng lakas ng loob para sa mga challenges na darating sa buhay mo.
Okay.
In a similar note, if your ikigai, if you tap your ikigai, what you're good at and what you love to do, that gives you the purpose or the sense of being. If it's flowing, you know, if that cup is flowing with water, then you can get an empty cup so that no water will get into waste. That other empty cup now becomes a cup also full of water. So if it happens, in a similar note, if your ikigai is full, you also get to transmit the same to others.
Actually, maraming ways para ma-manage ang time ng maayos. May tinatawag tayo na Pareto Principle. Yung Pareto Principle, yung 20-80.
10-20.
Oo.
20-80.
Yung 20% ng effort mo mag-yield sa 80% ng results. Ang sinasabi doon, kung may list of activities ka within the day, alamin mo doon kung ano yung 20% na pinaka-importante doon sa out of, let's say, 20 activities for the day that you have to do. Yung 20% nun, mag-yield sa 80% na result na gusto mo. Kunyari, sa dami mong laundry list, ang solusyon lang pala dyan is delegation of tasks. Let's say you're a small, medium enterprise owner. Tapos halos ikaw lahat ang gumagawa kasi small enterprise owner ka pa. Siguro maganda mag-delegate ka na. Baka yung mga social media management, for example, or yung accounting mo, yung accountant mo, pwede mo nang i-subcontract instead na ikaw lahat ang gumagawa. In that way, you can also focus in business development side of your business or research and other activities like sales and development, yung mga ganon.
Ang change, kasama mong change, dalawang klase yan eh. May tinatawag na external change or yung situation-based or event-based. And according nga dun sa favorite ko na organizational consultant, his name is William Davis. When he defines change, aside from change into your environment, meron din tinatawag na internal change.
Yes.
Ibig sabihin ng transition, he referred to it as transition, meaning ito yung psychological change. as event unfolds dun sa yung environment, merong mga psychological changes na nangyayari sa isang tao. Yun yung transition. And when you talk about transition, meron siyang tatlong phases. Ano yung tatlong phases ng transition? Yung ending, yung neutral zone, and beginning. Yun yung transitional model na in-introduce ni William Bridges. Sabi nga, before ka mag-begin ng something new, before ka magbago, kailangan you have to end something first.
Yes.
Before you learn something new, you have to unlearn your old ways.
Okay. There are 3 reciprocity styles, sabi natin. Giver, taker, matcher. Okay, pag sinabi mong taker, from the word itself, taker, alam mo yung winner takes all. Gusto niya, siya lang palagi ang nakikinabang. Kuha siya ng kuha without giving anything in return. Uy, pwede bang tulungan mo ko? Uy, pwede bang pa-photocopy nito? Uy, pwede bang pwede bang pakigawa yan? That's taker. Pero you don't give anything back. Okay? Now, giver. Ano naman ang giver? Ang giver is, you give something without expecting anything in return. Halimbawa, nagtuturo ka ng kasama mo sa trabaho. Alam mo, pwede mo siyang kakompetensya, pero you don't mind it. Kasi para sa'yo, ang mindset mo, magkakasama tayo dito eh. I also want you to learn the things that I know. I don't mind kahit na maging magkasing galing tayo or mas magaling ka pa sa akin someday. Or maging ma-promote ka or maging katulad kita. I don't mind it. That's giver. I'm sharing with you what I know, what I have, to the best of my ability without expecting anything in return. Now, ano naman yung matcher? Ang matcher is someone na, sige, tutulungan kita pero dapat backupan mo ko. Sige, gagawin ko yan para sa'yo. Pero next time na mangailangan ako ng tulong, kailangan tulungan mo ako. Alright? Now, ano sinasabi sa study ni Adam Grant? Ang sinasabi niya is, usually, nag-focus siya most of the time dito sa giver and taker eh. Although may mga example siya ng matcher. Ang taker, limited yung clippings ninyo eh. Kasi marami siyang example in the area of leadership, in the area of communication, yan in the area of selling yun eh. Yung mga taker, early on in life, sila yung mga nagsasucceed. Sila yung mga nauunang nagsasucceed. They get the credit. Sila yung maaaring na-promote agad, tumaas agad ang sahod. Pero later on, yung mga giver, sila yung mas nagsasucceed in life. Bakit? Maaaring hindi sila agad naging successful, pero dahil sa mga tinulungan nila, bumabalik sa kanila later on in life in a form of good karma. When they were 20 years old, back in the time when they were 20-ish, ito yung time na nagtanim sila ng tanim, nag-relationship sa iba't ibang tao, sa network nila. Madami silang mga tinulungan. Pero hindi sila masyadong umaangat kasi bigay sila ng bigay eh. Pero later on in their life, pagdating nila ng 30s, 40s, yung mga tinulungan nila, ngayon na naghahanap sila ng trabaho, yun yung mga bumalik sa kanila para tulungan sila. And ang giver, sila yung mas nagsusustain, mas tumatagal ang success.
Time management matrix niya, meron siyang 4, may quadrant 1 to 4 siya doon.
Ano yung
meron
apat na
siyang, yung quadrant 1 niya, yun yung mga urgent and important task.
Ito yung
Ito yung mga-
the tyranny of the urgent.
Oo, the tyranny of the Argentinian and Russian. Maraming ganyan sa trabaho. Ito yung mga Russian, Argent yan, di ba? Oo. So yun yung quadrant 1. Ano ba itong mga to? Like for example, yung email ng boss mo, di ba? Kailangan atinan mo kaagad yun. Importante yun, boss mo yun eh. Tapos urgent yan. Sabi niya, now. I want it now on my table. Yun, urgent and important. Yan, that's quadrant 1. Tapos yung quadrant 2 naman is
Important but not urgent.
Okay.
Ito yung for example, yung mga planning, strategic planning sa business,
Relationship.
sa family, importante yan. Pero yun nga, not urgent siya, pero importante.
Yung pag I
Mamaya
love you
Yun.
sa text.
Yung
Important,
simpleng
pero hindi siya
ganon.
urgent.
Pero mamaya babalikan ko yung Miss Tina. I have something to say about it. And then yung quadrant 3 naman, ito yung mga tasks na urgent siya, pero it's not important. Like for example, may na-receive kang call, pinapapunta ka let's say sa isang meeting, pero hindi naman siya gaanong importante. Halimbawa, isa ka lang sa mga members doon na pinapapunta to get your opinion on something, pero hindi ka naman kailangan talagang pumunta doon kasi may committee naman. So,
barkada
it's
makulit.
makulit.
Gilid tayo.
Exactly.
Urgent yan. Pero
May
hindi
pressure
important
ka
yan.
na,
Oo,
hindi naman
pinipressure ka.
importante.
Marami ganyan.
Maraming ganyan,
Ano yung
makukulit.
isa pang quadrant? Isa pang
Yung isa naman is not urgent, hindi pa importante. Ito yung chismisan, yung mga ganyan. Or yung mga, kung ano-anong, yung loitering, diba?
Hindi urgent, hindi din important.
Hindi rin urgent, hindi rin important. Oo, or magkikilay
Tambay.
tayo. Di ba minsan may ganyan, ayusin ko kilay mo. Pero sa iba, important daw yun.
Prepare para practice. Kailangan talaga may ganun ka. Kasi kahit gano'n ka pakagaling, like si Gabby, di ba, napakagaling ng singer and talagang ultimate performer. Pero he also experienced those moments of self-doubt. Kasi nangyayari yan kahit kanino eh. So, napaka-importante na acceptance na talagang nangyayari yan kahit kanino. May moment ka talaga of truth wherein there is always this self-doubt in you na kailangan mo i-overcome. But do not worry about it because that fear is essential for a better performance or if not better, an excellent performance. Kailangan mo yung ganyan eh. And then, always remember that before you face your audience, kailangan prepared ka kasi it's also your way of showing your audience that you respect them.
Oo,
diba?
na pinagandaan.
Na pinagandaan mo. Kailangan may preparation ka. Minsan,